I'm going to talk about the way I scored the 1928 silent film classic, Fall of the House of Usher. There's no dialogue or sound effects, so it's all about the music. I'm not going to use brand names because I want to focus on the why behind what I did. If it makes you curious about what I did, great. Go out and discover and explore yourself. That's a lot of how I work. So the obvious score for this is something orchestral, piano, something that says silent film. Another obvious choice is your standard, dark, ambient sound design-y thing. For me, both were wrong for one reason. They tell you where you are before you even have a chance to figure it out. And for me, they were just too obvious. The scene starts with a lone horseman riding toward a castle, and I wanted to feel intrigued by where he's going, totally unsure about where he is or why he's riding, especially given how it looks. I wanted mystery, foreboding, and also a little excitement about the world we've been plunged into. The typical approaches couldn't hold that for me, so I went with something else. This started as a live trumpet recording I did for a completely different project that I edited and repitched where I wanted. This is what it sounds like naked. I took that recording apart and ran it through an outboard effect that lets me smear the signal with my hands. I'm playing it, not programming it. What comes out is still a trumpet, but it feels like it came from a weird dream last night. And I treated it further in Cubase too. Yeah, I love how that feels. Against picture, it does something specific. The horseman's going somewhere unfamiliar.
You know the instrument, but it's coming from somewhere you don't really know, which is how I felt when I saw this stark figure riding a horse.
I doubled it with the same synth playing its own line underneath. So you have this processed live trumpet sitting on top of a synth that builds the character I want. They blur together like one voice. And here's everything that's underneath without the trumpet. I wanted character and movement, not just some ambient pads sitting under a melody. So it had to feel like the landscape and castle we're seeing, like the world the horseman's actually riding through. The low end is a sample and hold pattern, doubled with a French horn section I messed with and processed. It has weight, but it also has randomness. It feels again like something we kind of know but aren't sure of, not just a bass line. The arps and ambience above that give me a ghostly feel that's just out of reach. There's momentum, but you can't predict where it's going. There's also a couple different noise beds underneath from my modular rig, including this and this. They helped build another layer of dirt and unease. Now everything together. The horseman reaches the house. Meanwhile, inside, a woman is waiting for Usher. The film shifts completely, and the normal instinct here might be to score it as la-la magical. I wanted warmth and I wanted a sparkle when we see his twin sister Madeleine, but we know nothing about where the story's going, and I didn't want safe. So I needed real, but I wanted it to carry something slightly wrong underneath it. I used tremolo strings to write this, and I wanted the chord movement to feel slightly out of place, welcoming and warm, but in a kind of uncomfortable way. Going into it, I played an old Scandinavian string thing called a tagelharpa for a sound design transition that had the texture of the world we're in. As she stands up and goes to eat with Roderick, I wanted to feel playful, but kind of a ghostly playful. I didn't want to know where this is gonna go, so I wrote it to feel kinda off.
And I'm also playing one of my favorite basses for a kind of unexpected flavor in this context.
The contrast between what we just rode through and this moment is the point. If this sounded like what you'd expect, everything before it wouldn't matter as much. If it was purely ominous, you'd lose the wry smile and humanity. I wanted both, and here's the fully completed scored scene.